Hi, and welcome to Let's Talk Sports podcast with me, Lucia. Welcome to the NBA Draft and Trade Speculation Special. Now, I am going to be doing the draft, the top 5 picks, and my predictions, and a little bit about each player. So, number 1, we've got LaMelo Ball for the Minnesota Timberwolves. He comes from the Illawarra Hawks, which is in the New South Wales region in the NBL, the National Basketball League for Australia. He's a guard and his height is 6'7". He has been described as a dynamic ball handler with innate passing ability who can step in immediately as a team's point guard. We'll need to work on his shot, but Ball is a franchise-changing guard. Now, according to his dad, LeVar Ball, who we all know and some of us love, some of us think that he is a little bit overbearing, he is way better than Lonzo. Now, that isn't that much to overcome because Lonzo has so far been an all-right player, not what he was drawn up to be. So I think that LaMelo has a lot to live up to in terms of being the number 1 overall pick, and Minnesota desperately needs some good news because they've got D'Angelo Russell and Karl Anthony Towns, affectionately known as Cat. They're literally the only 2 players that they had. They did have Jimmy Butler, and then they messed that up. Imagine if Jimmy Butler was with Karl Anthony Towns, D'Angelo Russell, and LaMelo Ball. Like, that would be a team that could contend in the West. But that's not happening right now. Now, moving on to number 2, James Wiseman for the Golden State Warriors. He comes out of Memphis. He's a center and his height is 7'1". A little bit about him: he's a skilled big man that has size combined with athleticism to potentially become a dominant force on both ends of the floor. Now, if anything from last year's finals told us is that they desperately need someone to fill in Harrison Barnes' shoes. I think James Wiseman is an amazing pick for the Golden State Warriors. It literally fills the only hole that they had. They've got a good point guard in Steph. No, a great point guard in Steph. They've got a dynamic shooting guard, 2 guard in, oh my god, what's his name? Klay Thompson. I can't believe I just forgot that name. They have, oh my god, a great power forward in Draymond Green. I cannot believe I'm forgetting the Warriors' names. I literally love every single player and wish that every single player was on the Lakers, but that's not a thing that we can talk about now. But yeah, they've literally got only one hole to fill, and that is the center position, and James Wiseman would fit in perfectly there. I think he is a great pick for them. Number 3, Anthony Edwards to the Charlotte Hornets. He's from Georgia, he's a guard, and his height is 6'5". He has been described as an athletic scorer, has the ability and explosiveness to score in transition or as a spot-up shooter, should contribute immediately and eventually become a franchise-changing star. The Charlotte Hornets need a franchise-changing star. They had, they had Kemba Walker, but Michael Jordan didn't want to go into the luxury tax to keep him there. And you saw what he did with the Boston Celtics. So Anthony Edwards should change that. Should make that an incredible place to be playing. And I think that with Michael Jordan's help, the Charlotte Hornets, and especially Anthony Edwards, could become a major sticking point in the East. Number 4, we've got Denny Avagia, I think, for the Chicago Bulls from Maccabi Tel Aviv. He's a guard / forward, and his height is 6'9". I have butchered that name and where he's from too much. I'm just going to stop saying his name because I cannot say it. He plays like a guard but has the size and length to give defenders fits. Aggressive, competitive playmaker with a great feel for the game. Who does that sound like? That sounds like to me. That sounds exactly like LeBron James. When I was researching this guy, I was like, he's like LeBron James. And he'd be perfect in Chicago that has a storied franchise in having the 6 rings with Jordan and Pippen. I think that he will be an incredible player. He also reminds me a lot like Scottie Pippen, who used to play for the Chicago Bulls. Then in number 5, we've got Obi Toppin for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Dayton, power forward, height 6'9", dynamic athlete who was National Player of the Year thanks to his big dunks and ability to shoot from the outside. Combination of size and athleticism makes him an intriguing option. Now, I haven't read much, that is the only thing that I've read about him, but the Cavs have had some success in the past. They've got that one title that they won in 2016 with LeBron James and Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love, Tristan Thompson, Richard Jefferson. Yeah, so he's got all those. So they've got all those. So the Cavs clearly need some sort of semblance of a good team in the East. I think that he could be a good guard or a good power forward. I think that he is going to be a very good player for a top 5 player. Now that is the top 5 picks. In my thoughts and predictions, I will give you more. I'll give you the top 5 picks and where they were picked when they come out in the later week in this week's later episode, if you get what I mean. So in trade talks and speculation, and one trade that has already happened, Houston has a clear problem. So Houston, we have a problem. Russ wants out, and in turn, I think that means that James is going to leave too. I would trade Russ to the Knicks, and I would trade James to the Nets. I think that would work really well. I think that James with Kyrie and KD, that is a championship team. They could win the championship next year. Even though I still think it's going to be the Lakers next year. But they could win the title next year with that team. I think KD and Kyrie are going to the finals anyway, are coming out of the East and going to the finals anyway next year. But add James, you are in a position right there to win a title. Title right there and then. So yeah, Houston really just is dismantling, and I'm not happy about it because I quite like the team of the Rockets. I think the Rockets are a good team environment. They have an owner that wants to win. Yeah, so it's really, really, really it's incredibly just strange. So CP3 wants out of the Thunder, which is understandable. So I think, these are the 3 teams that have been in talks. Philly, the Clippers, or the Bucks? I think you should go to the Bucks and team with Giannis because those two mentalities would work perfectly together. And we've got a trade. Yay! Dennis Schroeder to the Lakers for Danny Green and the 28th pick of the draft. I'm very, very excited about this. I think that this means that the Lakers are repeating. I want to thank Danny Green for his services for this year. I think that he has been an incredible player and an incredible just team leader. So thank you, Danny Green. Enjoy your time at Oklahoma. And I am looking forward to seeing what Dennis Schroeder does in the future. That is all for this special episode of Let's Talk Sports podcast with me, Lucia. I will catch you all later on this week. Bye!